Well, hello to you. It's a dreary, dark day up here in Orkney. The wind's howling. So I've been going through some old wine recipes I found. This one I'm about to do dates back to 1670s and was first published in a book called Queene-Like Closet. I'll give the link to the book down below, and here's the recipe. It's for a treacle wine, it is. I've been trying to find a treacle wine recipe for ages, but then I came across this old book. So we're going to give it a try. I'm going to stick to the recipe as it's written and try and do it as originally as we can.
That's the first for you.
That is. Me following a recipe, very rarely done. And now we're going to give it a go. We're going to try and make treacle wine, aren't we? Awesome. It says to take fair water, which I presume to mean clean water. We don't use dirty water, do we? So nice fair water, and make it so strong with molasses, otherwise known as treacle, that it will bear an egg. Back in the olden days, the 1670s or so, they used to use an egg as a hydrometer, which I find most interesting. I'll probably try and do a video about the comparison between an egg and a hydrometer. It's amazing how technology has evolved from this simple thing, an egg, to this. It is actually the same principle, only one is a lot more advanced and accurate. So we will be trying to bear an egg in our treacle wine. Right, we're going to try and make up 1 gallon of the treacle wine. So I need to judge how much water, fair water at that, to put in, and how much treacle. So to start off with slightly under how much water I think. And now we want to add the treacle. Tate and Lyle black treacle. It's awesome stuff. I made some golden syrup wine using a very similar product, and that is looking perfect and superb. Bubbling really well, fermenting, and it tastes brilliant. So if I hand my assistant over to his mum, because he's hungry.
Lunchtime for
Lunchtime. We'll get on and we'll do these. Right, I need to add this treacle to the fair water and make it so strong it will bear an egg. Fresh eggs normally sink in water. However, the sugar content will make the egg float up. I think a floating egg on top of your treacle wine will give you a specific gravity of about 1.08. That's my guess. I can't wait to actually find out if I'm right or not. So if I ferment it to dry, that would give a wine of about 10%, which would be about right for a wine of the period. Back then, wines were a lot weaker than they are these days, due to sugar not being as abundant and also the yeast strains not being so potently aggressive at turning sugar into alcohol. So now we need to pour the treacle into the fair water. Awesome stuff. It's going to bear an egg, we need all of it in. Right. I want to see if my hydrometer and egg reading correlate. Let's take a sample. Now that is off the chart. Much higher specific gravity reading than I thought it would be. That could be quite a strong wine at this rate, if there's enough water to make a gallon. Now what do I need to do? Where's that recipe? boiled it with a bag of spice and a bunch or two of rosemary. Right, rosemary, garden, come on. Right then. And now the spice. What can I use? Spice. I don't have any. I've used it all. Aha! Ginger is a spice. I'll throw some of that in. Cloves. We have cloves. Yes, cloves. To be honest, I'm not going to use a bag. I am deviating from the recipe for this because I'm using ground ginger, not whole roots. I'm using grated nutmeg and some mustard seeds, all of which will just fall through my muslin bag. Decent sprinkle of cloves, shake of ground ginger, a liberal scraping of nutmeg, and a wee dash of mustard seeds. Yikes, too many. Oh well, it can stay. And a few bunches of rosemary from the garden. Give that a quick stir and turn it on. There. That's on the simmer now. That's going to heat up really soon. The recipe calls to boil it and skim it. So I'm waiting for a thick layer to form on top of the treacle. All those complex carbs that are left over from the sugar making process to come to the surface. Still waiting, still boiling. Luckily as well, with the scum, has come all those mustard seeds. Getting some of those off. And now the recipe wants me to add some sweet herbs according to the season of the year. I was thinking about this earlier, and we're up here in Orkney, midwinter. There's nothing growing in my garden sweet herb wise. If I was doing it in summer, it'll be a completely different recipe, I'm sure. And then boil until some has been consumed. Do I need to drink some to consume it? Or no? Wait until it reduces out. And then it should become clear. Apparently. So let it boil for a bit longer and see what happens. Well, that there has been boiling away for a while. About half an hour or so. I've been clearing off any scum that's been forming on the top of it and some of those mustard seeds. It's clearing a bit in terms of less frothy, foamy on top. Recipe says now to put it into several things and let it cool. So what I'm going to do is let it cool in the saucepan and then add it to my demijohn. So it's dinner time and we'll see you soon. Well now, we've had our dinner and I've let the treacle wine stand and cool. Smelling delicious it is. So all I need to do now is pour it into my demijohn and add the yeast. Oh, happy days. Easy, okay, funnel. Well, I'm just short of the 1 gallon mark, which I'm not surprised about, but that's going to give the yeast some room to work in there and not overflow. And I'll top it up to the gallon once the yeast has done its magic. Then the recipe says, let it stand for 2 weeks and then when it's finished working, bottle it. Use as a remedy against any infection and also as a cure for the cough. Sounds brilliant, doesn't it? Not only might it be a brilliant wine, but a good cough remedy. Looking forward to it. So I'm going to put a airlock in it now, put it aside, 2 weeks time, I'll check on it and I'll get back to you. Hope you've enjoyed this recipe. Bit interesting, bit different. Don't normally do them this style. So subscribe for the updates and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.